fantastic policies, standard 2, standard 3, can be a good teacher. Graduates now cannot even represent himself, not to talk of teach. So I've quickly briefed the problem and today. But that cost will still be named by the government. You know, here is a place where government is everything. You understand? It is not driven by people, even simple democracy, definition that we all know. Governed by the people, for the people. You understand? But it is not. You understand? Because if it is governed by the people, for the people will know that we are not ready now. And they will know that national development can never be appreciable if there is no human resources, a very high quality one. And how do you get that? Personal development. And reading has been identified as a source for literacy. So if you are not literate, how can you be useful to yourself? And when you are not useful to yourself, you can't represent yourself, you can't represent your family, you can't represent this community, you can't represent society, you can never be good for society. So we find that in the family, on the street, in governance. So maybe I can quickly just chip this in that is why the Sixth Sense initiative is positioning.
We'll come to that.
Okay.
But my question is, are we showing enough concern?
No, the government is not. That is why I'm saying Sixth Sense, I registered Sixth Sense as a non-profit organization out of passion. All this I'm doing, it is just my own passion. I'm not being driven by any donor agency or by any group. It is my resources, and I call it goodwill and God's grace. It's like we have relationship, Hakim. Our next program, we are going to host about 800 children from about 80 schools. We are going to feed them. We are going to hydrate them. We are going to give them certificates of attendance. We are going to give the schools certificate of participation. We are going to give food. If I say, Hakim, please give me a bag of rice, you will give me. I'm very sure. That is how we have been doing it. Up till now, government is not saying anything to us. And in the last 5 years, we have put in enough resources, we have put in enough energy, we have displayed and showed that we can do it.
Are there books to read?
That is one, you made something I want to touch in your intro.
If there are books to read, are they affordable?
You can't compound it. I will make sure I simplify it.
No, because you know why I said I read so many books.
Yes.
Some from my elder brothers and sisters were also into reading. But you'll be surprised that even at secondary school level, I was able to afford some.
Yes.
That I can buy myself.
I agree with you. So, economy.
Yeah.
Then I'll pick it from that. Let me talk about economy. Look, you agree with me that it is expensive to eat today.
Yeah, if you can afford a 3 square meter.
Don't put that afford, but you eat.
Yeah, sure.
So that means you see that as a necessity.
Sure.
I still know people who their salaries are meager and they buy books. Books of about 12,000. I've seen it. So priorities. But I am not saying that the government has done enough. No! Look, I'm a printer first. I'm a publisher before I became an author. And now I'm promoting reading culture. So I have passed through all the facets that I am good enough to tell you why something may be wrong about it. It is not only, look, in publishing, just like Gary is expensive, papers are expensive, inks are expensive, computers are expensive, but people still stay in business. You understand? But we are talking that, do we have a policy that can drive? If there's a policy that can drive, okay, how do you read? You said, do you know that you have an economy that was driving you at your school age? You can make 1, 2, 3 naira, and it 1, 2, 3 naira can afford you living. Salaries can't afford people living now. We are not here to discuss economy, but we have seen that. You said books are not available. I have 10 concepts that is driving reading culture. One of it is community mobile library services. I distribute free books to children, schools, libraries, and communities. So if you meet me, if you get into my car now, I will give you books for free. So I'm not saying that I'm like everybody. I'm not saying that books are available, but it is. That is why it is at this abysmal level. You understand? We still have bookshops. We still have authors. People still write new books. I just entered publishing, maybe
through what they are now conversant with. The phones, the laptops, and what have you, the gadgets, and of course, make them read through e-reading.
If you say e-reading, you are still talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, let me
technological advancements.
Now let me tell you, I am passionate about this, and I keep defending that many of us, we are blaming
mobile phones.
Mobile phone, we are blaming technology. Nobody can live outside technology anymore, except you want to go to medieval age. You can't live outside technology. Even if you are selling dundu, if you put ICT into the frying of dundu, you will sell more. You will know the best yam to buy, best weather to fry, and you will know where to put it to, and you will advertise through social media. And here you will make more money. So I will not be, now the word redirect that you use is key. How do we redirect our youth to reading culture? That's where I will turn the question to reading culture, and that is why Abeokuta is existing now. That is why we have such science initiative. We are saying that reading can be a tool for national development. How? Let me tell you quickly that I'm an advocate, I'm an activist of reading culture. I want to push to a level that the government will see reading as a subject, just like they expect physics, chemistry, biology. Okay. That they will expect reading, where they will now be able to know that we have reading today. Let me read a book before teacher will come. Where a teacher will come and say, today we want to talk about benefits of reading. He reels out benefits of reading, he discusses the uses of reading. Now let me narrow down to technology, these devices. I believe that when you were reading, if you don't get to the library, can you get books? You can't get books.
No.
Good. And if you want knowledge, if you don't go to meet book, can you get knowledge? But today, they have ample of opportunities. The so-called early chase, you must have read a lot of early chase. It is still on the apps and mobile. Now they can hold this and be on their bed and get into about 100 libraries. Read 1 million books at a time. Can you see big opportunities? Are they reading is the question. They have more opportunities than you and I.
Yeah, but something is overtaking.
Something are overtaking,
yes.
But it is not them. It is governance. It is government. It's our leader. Or is it our leaders? Are they readers? No. I'll give you a simple instance. We remember the minor case. It's still on. The person that stood the bail, what he signed and placed before the court, they didn't read. It could not be tied. It's not a news to all of us. That is the essence that reading has embarrassed us as a nation. It's all over the place. It's as simple as you dropping a proposal to an office, to a government, to somebody. When you go back on your appointment, Mr. Akim, fantastic proposal. How much will it cost to? It's on the last page, sir. Okay, this is small money. Do we have any commitments to set you on? It's on the 3rd paragraph of the 1st page. Obviously, what?
Yeah, read it.
You find that around. But some of us are thinking that this is pathetic. It cannot continue. And we want to grow. How can we grow? We must take reading culture as a real culture, a pastime, a thing we just do naturally. You understand? We are not saying go to school. Education has failed. A graduate will interact with you. You will be ashamed not only of him, maybe the institution he came from, the society, and before you know it.
Once in a while, lecturers too.
Are you telling me we are all in it together? Who cannot express? Look, I once had a copper, BSc Mass Comm, from somewhere Middle Belt. He was traveling. I said, you can't go because you are under me. You are a government property. Go and write a letter of release. he wrote, I want to go and see my parents. P-A-Y-R-E-N-T. That's not a mistake.
Parents.
Pay and rent. That's what he wrote. No, look, all these are there for all of us. We see them, but we ignore, we pass go like a monopoly. Everybody is just, they are in our houses. They are in our workplaces. They are on the streets. And the worst of it is that they become deciders. They become the leaders. They call shots. What affects you and I? That is why we are saying that let's take reading culture as a tool for national development. We have not tried that. We have tried so many things. Developmental 2000, clinical 2020, we have seen it. It has failed.
Okay, I want to pick it up from something you said earlier on concerning teachers. That means the onus lies on virtually everybody to revive the reading culture. Teachers, students, the government, society, mobile devices. Now, I want to pick it up from the standpoint of teachers, because if you look at it, the students cannot know what they know now until they are taught. There's the place of the teacher there. Don't you think, or the lecturers now, let me not just limit it to
teacher.
Okay. Now, I think, could you say that the poor reading habits or skill of graduates, children, students can be traced to they are being taught how to read? Because how can somebody read if he has not been taught effectively on how to read?
Okay, you have touched two important things that citizens is really dwelling on. One is policy. You can't also only put it by the doorstep of the teacher or lecturer. Let's use teacher for convenience. Everybody is teaching. Now, see a curriculum that will make Akim, your boy of maybe 8 or 9 or 10, to carry half a bag of cement because he has to go through 12, 13, 14 subjects. That's what curriculum heaped on him or her. So for every day, it's mounting that. So, can you see a medical problem later at 20? Because he or she was carrying half a bag of cement at that tender age. Look, and at the end of the day, he will carry 14 into secondary school to do another 9 or 10. And by the time JAMB or university is asking for a number of subjects, like how many? Maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah. 4.
Policy, curriculum and evaluation. So you can see government there. You can see people, you can see experts. Now the teacher, we now talk about economy. You know, I said, let us just put a teacher that is not well taught. The enumeration is not enough. Because here is a country where your pay cannot be enough a living wage. You are not talking survival wage here. You can't pay your rent, you can't eat well, you can't medical facilities, your offspring, go on vacation, retreat, and all. You can't do that. Thereafter, so many of our teachers, we're not putting teachers on sports, on reading. You have established that it's for all of us. They have shops. They sell BQ while in there. She's thinking of this, he's thinking of that, home lesson and all that. Okay, let me tell you, some schools nearby here, they have about 100 pupils, students in a classroom. You agree with me?
Sure, I know.
One class of about 10, 12, 15 arms. Do you agree with me? A, B, C, D to K, L.
Yeah.
Now, imagine you are a teacher, Akim. I hope you won't charge me for just calling your name. You are a teacher. How can you give a test between a term twice? If you will teach a class of 100 students times X.
Impossible.
Let's see X as 10.
Impossible.
1,000.
Impossibility plus cannot.
You have complexed those things now. He must be a mathematician. So I think I've answered that. You can now see that you don't even know your teacher. Cast your mind to the good old days. Your teacher will call you by your name, will know your house, will know your shirt. But now, 100, you want to kill him.
Okay, let's as we wrap up. What are we going to see on the 25th of October, when we shall be having the children reading competition at the OOPL?
The children reading competition of Monday, 25th October 2001 is the fourth edition of an annual program where we bring schools together. We are not promoting unhealthy rivalry because of the word competition. We are encouraging reading, we are promoting reading. You understand? And what are we going to do there? We are going to demonstrate. We are going to organize a workshop. That is a trainer where the teachers will know how to further promote reading culture within the same space of a day. And we are going to test, we will going to display storytelling, pronunciation, comprehension, summary. And we have a game, which I created, Know a Book in 5 minutes. I have created about 10 concepts to promote reading culture. Community mobile library services is one. Some children reading camp is another. Numerous, and we have a publication dedicated to reading culture, not like it all over the world. Now, if they come on that day, our special guest and our ambassador, she's the first lady of Ogun State, Mrs. Bamidele Abeokuta, the wife to the governor of Ogun State. She's going to be there under the chairmanship of Obombodu himself, Chief Doctor, I mean your senior, Chief Doctor Olusegun Aremu Okikiola Obasanjo. And we are going to have a lot of people. Oloye Lekan Alabi Ekefa Olubadan is going to come around. We are going to have a lot of people. The provost of FC Oshele, Dr. Shoile, is going to come. So we are going to have, it is to motivate the children. And we have picked our band to which we target is ages 5 to 15. And that is why we are done with you understand? But ages 5 to 15, let them see the option that if you read, one is a personal activity, is a personal development. You are not doing it for anybody. You are going to improve yourself. And when you improve yourself, it makes examination interviews very easy for you. Because when you take part-time to just read, you just have so many options to a problem. So you can solve so many questions. You can solve so many, because don't forget that after all these subjects in school, you will get to the street. You can't be treating quadratic situation, quadratic equation on the street, but you will meet quadratic situations in the market. You understand? So with this, so we want cooperation, and at this level I need to thank Ogtv and its management. This is a platform that you have offered us to talk about reading culture. We want more of this, so that as we talk about it, parents will be taught. It is as ordinary as you going for parties or social events. You leave the program there. That is made with a big one, huge budget. Take it home, drop it on the dining table. Let the boy or girl flip. Reading has taken place. The government, to know that we don't no longer have libraries in most schools. We don't have librarians. There are no library prefects. Obasanjo was a library prefect. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So you can see the effect of reading culture.
Because there are no library to prefect on.
Okay, that's fine. So are you getting what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, the parents, I've touched the government. I've touched the parents. You, on the street, I know you must have been smacked by so many brothers when you were growing up. How can you button down like this? Bam! All these are gone. They beat parents now. Parents beat teachers now, not to talk neighborhood brothers.
For disciplining their children.
So you can see a lot of things that are tied to this. And when we have leaders that are readers, they will make a long life decision for us. And even that we cannot, we won't find ourselves in this kind of situation.
I remember he's late now, we always tell people that in those days when you send Akim to go and buy newspapers, in an hour he's not back. And that is true. I'll make sure I read all the newspapers because when it gets to my brothers, I don't know when I'll get the opportunity to read it. So Okriji will say he will have read all the essentials in the newspapers before. Anyway, we want to thank you very much. I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you so very much.
Want to wish you well and continue. We hope that many of us will believe in what you're doing and also offer support that will make the reading culture a sustainable one among our youth nowadays. Thank you very much. The founder of Sixth Sense series, Sixth Sense Initiative, organizers of the 4th Sixth Sense Children Reading Competition. That is coming up on October 25 at the OOPL. I'm talking about Mr. Biodun Lashile. Thank you very much for coming onto the program.
It's my pleasure to be here, and I always want to be here again. Thank you so very much.
To allow him go, then we'll prepare to come in with our other guests. Still, the Friday edition of Kneel Down with Valentine Oko and Akim Akitunde.